All right, let's get started by learning a little bit about some plugins that you may want to use for your future projects. We're going to start by designing a new document. So let's click on New Design and we'll choose our frame tool and let's work in one of the iPhone frames. It really doesn't matter the size. I'm just going to choose 16 because that's the number that I like. Now, within Figma, you can actually go up to your home menu and click on the little community tab. Inside of the community, lots of other Figma users have the ability to share their content, not just the stuff that they design, but there's also little extensions, plugins, and widgets that help you work within Figma. Now, some of these are free, some of these require you to have a professional account. And if you click on the word extensions or find something in the middle here that has this, you can browse all the different kinds of things that people have developed within the community. For instance, I just chose the plugins. Plugins give you the ability to quickly work and access different kinds of resources. And again, some of these you can try for free and some of these you can open and install. What I like to do, I'm going to jump back into my untitled document, is to install some commonly used plugins for design that help you pull on some different kinds of assets. Another place you can find these plugins is you can go to the plugins drop-down menu and you can manage the plugins. And this will open it up for here. And the other place is if you look at the very bottom, there's an actions panel that gives you the ability to search for different kinds of plugins and widgets. Hey, one of the first ones I want us to look for is Iconify, Iconify. Iconify is a very popular website that also has a nice little plugin that a lot of people tend to use. Now, you can generally tell if a plugin is worthy of using by the number of people who like it and the number of users who are using it. So I can see that the Iconify plugin has over 4 million users. It's liked over 32,000 times. So there's a good chance that it's something that it's worthy of using and generally is liked by a lot of people. Now, in order to use this, you can click on Run at the bottom, and this is going to open it up in its own separate little window. Now, every little plugin is going to be slightly different, but for our Iconify, they can allow you to search for different kind of pre-made icons. So for instance, if I wanted a home icon, I can do a search up here, and very quickly, very easily, it finds a lot of different designs that I can just drag on and use within my app. So I want you to search for a home icon, and let's choose just one of these. Any one that you want, drag it, drop it within your design, and now look at it. There you go. I've got a home icon already designed and built for me. What we want to do for this one is let's build a little navigation bar down at the bottom of our screen. So we've got a home icon. Let's do a search icon. You can see that some of these are going to be animated. All of these, if you hover over them, you can click on the little 3 dots and it tells you a little bit about it. So for instance, especially for these, what I'm looking for is, do I want attribution? This means that whoever designed this icon, they either want you, if you're going to use it on an app or whatever you design, they want to give attribution. They want you to say who they are just so that they can get credit for their design. Also, some of them are allowed for commercial use, some of them are not. In this case, this would allow me to use it and make money off of it, and they're giving me permission to use those. So that's just one little thing to look for. See if I can find one that doesn't require commercial use. Most all of these will require or allow commercial use and no attribution, simply because it's a common little icon to use. Let's see, another one that we can use. So we're going to be building a food app. So let's type in the word food and see what's up here. Once again, you get lots of different nice little icons. I want you to choose a food icon. I like this one that I'm going to drag on, place it inside of here. Let's do a login icon. You can see there are some universal standards for what is accepted for like the login icon. And so when I choose these, I can simply click and drag and pick on for others. Let's do one more icon. Let's do a menu icon. You can see for the menu, there's the little 3 different bars. Maybe for my kind of menu, I want like a searchable recipe kind of menu. So I like this kind of design with the little open book. So we found 5 different icons, and they're all relatively the same size. Since this is an active widget, or excuse me, a plugin, it's got its own separate thing. I can close it out at any time. And if I need to call it back up one more time, I can go back up here and I can see all of my plugins listed up here. If I go to Manage Plugins and I need to erase it away or delete it, I can always click on the 3 dots and tell it to be removed. But I like that one. That's a common one, and I'm going to keep it. Now that we've got our 3 different little icons, let's arrange them inside of a little navigation bar inside of our iPhone. I'm going to grab my frame tool, and one more time, I'm going to click and drag and just make a frame that spans the entire width of my phone. Just so I can see it, let's change its fill color to be something kind of dark and noticeable. Now I want to bring on my icons into this area. One of the things I want you to notice is that each one of these icons is inside of its own individual frame. This means if I select the frame, I can go and move it, and it changes up the size of my icon, and of course I can move it around. Or if I select the inside of it, the icon itself, so notice that this vector object is selected. If I go to change the size of it, well, it's going to be cropped off. It's going to stay inside of that frame, and I may not be able to see it. So one of the things I want you to pay attention to is when you select each one of these icons to also get their frame. I'm going to choose the frame, drag it into here. Let's do the same for this one. Don't make the mistake of accidentally clicking on just the vector and dragging it off, because that'll leave the frame still up here. Make sure the frame is selected. We've got everything pulled into our design. Let's place them all in here. Notice now, inside of my iPhone, I've got this frame 1, which is our dark frame in the background. I'm going to rename this one by double-clicking on it. Let's call it our nav bar. And then I've got different frames with the vectors inside of those. Now let's zoom in and see if we can work on resizing and spacing these out. I can see that my home icon is about the size that I want it to be, and some of these other ones are a little bit smaller and some are all over the place. Let's go to our Layers panel and click on just the frame of the first one and hold down the Command key or the Control key if you're on a Windows, and select all of the other frames. So just the frames are selected in those. If we go over to our layout and our design panel, you'll notice that the lock aspect ratio is turned on. That's what we want to be able to see. And right now the dimensions are different, so they're all mixed inside of here. Let's set the width of this to be 30. And when I tab over, you can see how it automatically resizes that to be 30. And now they're all exactly the same height and width. If necessary, I could still go inside of these and manually change them up just so that they're all appropriately the same size. Because keep in mind, the frames have been turned to 30 by 30, but the content inside of it may still need to be resized as well. For instance, I think this login is a little bit too much, so I want to choose my login one. Then I can drill down and choose the vector, and then I can resize this to be a little bit smaller inside of there. Now they're all looking proportional. Finally, let's evenly space all of these out. I'm going to choose my nav bar design, and I'm going to tell them to be evenly spaced. Up at the top, I go into my position, and let's distribute the horizontal spacing. From there, I can click in between each one of these, and you can see how it automatically recognizes the spacing between each one of those. I'm just going to kind of roughly eyeball it in till they're all evenly spaced. Finally, I want all of these to be evenly spaced out, so I'm going to select just the contents inside of my nav bar, all of those there. With all of those selected, we can go up to the alignment for the position and then choose horizontal alignment. Let's bring this down. So I'm going to resize this just a bit. And then with my nav bar selected, I'm going to turn on auto layout. Going over to my layout, we'll turn this on. You can see how it automatically kind of resized it in here. So if necessary, we may need to push everything over. We want our auto layout to have it to be horizontal in its layout. And we want the resizing of this to hug, or the width of it to actually be the exact same height. So we actually want it to be a fixed width. The fixed width will be the same width as our iPhone, so 393 pixels wide. The height of it can still hug everything, and we want all the content to be centered inside of our area. Finally, we can readjust the padding since we're hugging the padding. Let's bring this up and not be so thick on this side. There we go. Now that that looks good, let's bring this down to the very bottom of our page. And we want these to always stay at the bottom of our page as a navigation screen. So going to prototype, making sure our nav bar is selected, we'll set the position of this not to scroll with the parent, but to stay in place. We want it to stay in the exact same spot, and it has, of course, no scrolling because there's nothing to scroll. The final thing that you can do is to play around with the colors of each. To redesign the color, we can double click on these, or you can choose the vector inside of it. Then we can go into our design and let's change up the fill color to match something appropriately. Just make sure that the vector is selected and not the fill frame inside of it, and you can repeat the same color for each one. Choose the vector, swap it over to be just a solid white. With this done, we can preview our prototype. I'm going to preview it on an overlay. Not too much to see other than we now have a little navigation bar down at the very bottom. If necessary, you may want to adjust the height of this just to give it a little bit more spacing. Let's pull up the bottom edge as well too. Oh, come on, come on. There we go. And we'll push these up. Now it's starting to look much better. Remember, all of this is just kind of playing around with the look and feel of everything. There's no specific size or dimensions, but previewing it gives me the ability to see what it would look like on the actual phone. All right, so that's working with a simple little plugin called Iconify. Let's continue on and look at some other different plugins that we can use as well.